Hotdogs, Horseshoes and Handgrenades released on Steam on the 5th of April 2016 to accompany the release of the HTC Vive, one of the first major consumer headsets. The game only had a few modes around release, but one of them stood out, that being Taken Hold. Here are some basics. The game supplies you with a starting gun, usually a pistol or a bolt-action rifle. Then you head to one of the capture points and fight off the basic enemy known as Horseshoes. These are your basic infantry enemies, and they're quite comedically militant sausages. The weapon mechanics also add a layer of depth. Due to the sheer amount of guns, you can never really get a gun that you're comfortable with unless you're lucky. I have almost 180 hours in the game, and I still get guns I haven't used. On the off chance that you do get lucky and you get a gun that you're familiar with, you'll be able to do better due to your experience with that gun. It's not like Call of Duty where you just equip sleight of hand and reload faster. To reload faster in the game, you have to physically improve and become more precise with your movements. Because reloading is simulated to be like real guns, you have to take the mag out, grab another gun from your belt, put it into the mag well just right to avoid hitting the side, and then rack the side or pull the charging handle. You also have to memorize where all the bolts and charging handles are in the guns, or else you'll be fumbling a reload mid-fight and that can lead to death. During the capture of a point, you have to shoot the decryptions, which can range from a simple one bullet kill to precision fire, which can be quite hard during the heat of battle. To take a point, you have to shoot all the decryptions while not dying to the Horseshoes. It's an amazing balancing act of shooting the decryptions and fighting the Horseshoes and trying not to die, although eventually you'll get flustered and you'll end up dying. After you've taken your first point, you can choose to go either directly to the next point or go to a resupply point and get a better gun. On the way there you might encounter a patrol, which can be a bit of a roadblock depending on your gun. Once you get to the supply point, you can spend your points that you get from the end of a hole, or the boxes you find inside the supply points to get a better weapon. You rinse and repeat this process until you die. Now, this might sound a bit boring, but it's just scratching the surface. The mode has a lot more depth than you might expect. For one, the game has around 400 unique guns. If you can think of a gun, the likelihood is that it's in here. This makes Taken Hold unpredictable and fresh every time. One time you might get a 1911 from your starting box, but the next time you might get a 2+1 turbo shotgun. It's this dynamism that makes the mode fresh and replayable so much more than any other mode in most games. This isn't even mentioning the sub-modes that change the loot pools. So now we understand the weapon mechanics and how the game works, I'd like to bring your attention to the different modes. My favourite being Randomizer and the zombie apocalypse themed ones. With the Randomizer mode, you can get a gun from the extensive list, meaning one time you might get some AR-15 variant and the next time you might get a Stinger missile launcher, and as you can tell that can be probably quite problematic because the Stingers aren't really made for infantry. On the other hand, we have a zombie theme mode. With this, you start out with a robust melee weapon, and usually some sort of over-under shotgun. However, the twist with this mode is that you're not only fighting the human Horseshoes, but you're also fighting zombie Horseshoes. The zombie Horseshoes will rush at you with melee weapons and surround you, making you feel pretty helpless if you have a low capacity gun. Between holds you might hear the humans fighting the zombies, and you can use that as an opportunity to get the jump on them.
Override token found.
In the later holds, there are some cool boss fights that really shake up the gameplay and provide a nice challenge. I'd also like to bring up a nice little extra mode that's based off the Half-Life series. I've only played this one a few times because I feel like there can be some improvements made to it. Your arsenal consists of the guns from Half-Life 2. You can get not only a USPS chambered in 9mm, a Python revolver, and also something similar to the gravity gun from the Half-Life games. The only problem here is in Half-Life you're required to pick up items from the environments as virus enemies, but in this there aren't very many objects to be firing at the enemies, so it kind of makes it a bit useless. So I end up just solely relying on my guns, which kind of removes the whole purpose of this mode in my opinion. There are also leaderboards where you can compete against some of the best taken hold players. The leaderboard scoring system is also modular, so you should be pitted against people with similar settings to you. You can also opt to play without unlockable magazines. This whole time you've been seeing me pull out an endless supply of magazines from my quick belt. If you move one of your controllers over one of your quick belt slots and click either your trackpad or your thumbstick depending on your controllers, you can make your magazines infinitely respawn from it. However, if you play with spawn lock off, you only have the mags you're carrying. This adds a tremendous amount of decision making and strategy to the sandbox. Do I take this powerful 50 BMG sniper, or do I opt for something with lower caliber but more capacity? The decision is yours. Now the thing that might throw off newer players, however, is the fact that you don't just have a magical pool of ammo. This means when you throw a mag away or eject it from your gun, you lose not only the magazine but all of the unspent rounds in the magazine. This means during a fight, when you reload, you need to be conscious of where you drop the mags or spend extra time reloading to put them back away into your belt. After a hold, you can head to a resupply point. There you can spawn an unlimited amount of bullets, but you can only take as many as you can carry. You must also manually pack your mags and keep track of the ones that you've spent and the ones that you haven't. This adds yet again an entirely new level of depth that separates this game from what we have on the current market. Anyway, that's all from me. Overall, Taken Hold is a very fun experience, and I would recommend anybody with a VR headset to try the game, and try Taken Hold in particular. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video and like my kind of content, maybe stick around, maybe subscribe. You might find something you like on my channel, I don't know. Anyways, I'll see you next time.